Folks, welcome back to Our Mountains. I'm joined by a very special guest. I met this lady when I was still in the classroom a few years ago. This is Miss Octavia Sexton. Miss Octavia, thank you so much for joining us. Miss Octavia is one of the most interesting ladies I have ever met in my life. She's a storyteller, she's an artist, but more than anything else, she's just a neat lady, and we're very lucky to have her. So again, thank you for being here. We met, you came to my classroom a few years ago to teach storytelling. You are an amazing storyteller. How did you get into storytelling?
I just grew up with it. It was tradition in my family. But they told stories passed down generation to generation, and I went to a one-room school. We didn't have anything to play with, so we had to use our imaginations and make up games, and we played the traditional games, and we told a lot of stories. We had a storytelling tree, and we sang songs, and it's just part of me. It's like breathing.
One thing that impresses me is you pass this down too. It's not something that you perform. You also teach the storytelling.
I do. I teach through storytelling. I'm a teaching artist. I'm not just someone who performs on stage at festivals or things like that. I actually go into classrooms and I teach core content with the stories. And I write. I'm a writer also. And so through the storytelling, I teach drama. I can teach speaking skills. We can create historical fiction and then transform that into a telling. I use storytelling. I have used storytelling in rape crisis centers. I've used storytelling with at-risk youth. Used it in addiction centers.
You tell me did you do it in prisons once?
Yes, did that.
You done it all over.
Yes, and right now Brenda Richardson, she is a retired professor from Brill College. We applied for a Kentucky Foundation for Women grant and got it, and we are using a multiple way of storytelling. You can tell stories through song, you can tell stories through photographs, and you put it all together. We are telling stories through jewelry. And we got this grant, and we're working in Clay County with young women who have children, very young women with children. And while they sit around and they're creating this jewelry, there's a reason they choose each thing they, bead or whatever they put into this jewelry. There's a story behind it. They tell their stories like people used to do when they made quilts. Mm-hmm. And we thought, and at the same time, I'm telling stories about strong women who made a difference in Appalachia, because the women sometimes are just, they feel helpless, especially if you're an unwed mother and you're living not the ideal life that you thought you wanted. Sometimes you might not even make it through school because of the child or whatever, and we're using story to show them we've lost story.
Sure.
We've lost connection with our land and who we are, and we just seem like we have no purpose. And these women live in one of the most beautiful counties, Clay County.
It's beautiful out there.
It's an impoverished county, and a lot of people, they go to college, they leave, they don't come back. Some people, they don't want to go to college, and you don't have to go to college. I am for education. I was a teacher, but that may not be what you want to do. As my daddy used to say, all honest work is noble.
Absolutely.
And so we want them to share their story, know how to share their story with their children, and their children be able to pass on stories and know the story of their community and be proud of who and what they are.
Now, for the folks at home who want to maybe hear some more of your stories, maybe book you in their schools or buy one of your CDs, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, my website is www.octaviasexton.com, and you can purchase my CDs through cdbaby.com. I also have a book of student jack tales published, and you can get that through lulu.com. Or buy them from me through my, you can go to my website, and I think there's links to all those places.
And we'll have a link on our Facebook page to her website if you can't find it, guys. And folks, I told you she was neat, didn't I? And she'll be back in just a little bit, tell us one of her stories, and we'll be right back.